Ladies and gentlemen, it has just officially happened. The inevitable has unfortunately, well, depending on how you see it, arrived. And Trump has taken an action which of course cannot be taken back and will have devastating consequences forever. Perhaps for the good, perhaps for the worse, I'm not the one to judge. All I'm telling you is exactly what's happening right now. So I'll give you guys a little later update and then move on back. So first of all, the 3 sites, nuclear sites, had been evacuated beforehand. Well, you might be asking yourself, what exactly happened just before that and how are our cryptocurrencies reacting? So quickly, the crypto market has been moving downwards hard, all right? I've been stacking up on XRP as we moved downwards, but unfortunately, I was only able to add $40,000 or so in the little time that we moved from, the 214 range up till now. At about $2.04 is where I added another bag, and unfortunately, I was not able to view this massive wick to below $2. I told y'all, if we go below $2, I definitely want to add $1 million to my position. But when I'm sitting here at dinner, I'm thinking, oh, you know what? I should actually layer my buys down. But then at that point, after I bought, we basically mostly started going up already. All right, I could have probably fit it in, pause, but I was too busy with something. And of course, that's something for the most part being the current situation. Now, you might think you're too late, right? Because the price is already up a good 5%. But I'll say that this reminds every single person again that $2 per XRP is like a freaking magnet, all right? I've told you many times, but millions of dollars can be made by just consistently buying at $2 in XRP. It's literally that easy. Every single time it has worked. So I'm right now kicking myself. You don't want to know how, you should never let the emotions, I guess, get to you when it comes to trading, but you don't know how angry I am that I did not spend more time just sit down here. Because I placed this buy, I believe it was in either, I'm not exactly sure if this was the video from yesterday or if I was just chilling, I don't remember exactly. And then I was thinking, okay, I'm going to set up a proper buying strategy for in case the price starts moving down further, specifically at $2, like I explained in like 40 of my videos. I wanted to place a $1 million buy wall at $2. But I wanted to also have $1 or $2 million to buy additionally at the $1.80 level, because I do not think we'll go below 180. But if we do, again, we'll just have to load up more because this is generational money we're making right here, right? So basically the situation that stands though is we're only able to buy like $40,000 worth. As you can see, the position has increased, but not too much. And if you're wondering what exactly is going on, take a look at Trump's Twitter, all right? It basically all started with a post saying, we have completed our very successful attack on 3 nuclear sites in Iran, including Fordo, Natanz, and Esfahan. All planes are now outside of Iran airspace. A full payload of bombs was dropped on the primary site, Fordo. All planes are safely on their way home. Congratulations to our great American warriors. There is not another military in the world that could have done this. Now it's time for peace. Thank you for your attention to this matter. All I'll say is it's an interesting situation regardless of how you see it, all right? This is peculiar. This is interesting. Now, the market, funnily enough, the dollar is doing bad, the oil is doing pretty good. The market is not moving in the way you might expect, because you'd think that, situations like this would actually increase our prices, but they were decreasing quite hard. Then again, I'll counter it by saying over a few weeks period, you'll probably not notice that this has happened. And this is, again, the time to stack up on quality altcoins top down, all right? You buy the most quality assets first because you do not know how further much down we go based on the escalation of this situation. So Bitcoin, always safe. A 3x long with Bitcoin, even if you do it with a 60, 70, 50, $150 million, you usually are quite fine. It's hard to lose on that because, again, you get a reason. It can go down 33% and you're still good, especially if you have some additional to add as margin. You should be completely fine. Ethereum, similarly, think about it, right? Ethereum going back to like $1,500 a coin. It can happen, but it's quite a small chance. So if you got some more money to margin it up, you're in my opinion, quite fine. Similarly with XRP, think about it. If you've got 3x longs on most of these assets, even Hyperliquid, even Cardano, you tend to be in a pretty good spot to just basically have it like spot, but then some extra gains. That's kind of the way that I sometimes like to take a look at all these things. But just looking through, so many quality coins are up for the grabs. And I'm thinking of my bots right here, thinking of how much they must be stacking at a point like this. Because again, when the market moves down, these things keep adding up, right? And if you're wondering, I've got links to Payonix right here, so make sure you check it out by signing up with the link right there. You get $100 just for signing up, and you can get more bonuses by pressing the second link. And then I've got some links to the bots right there, but also I've got Blowfin, 𝗬𝗂𝗍, Bybit. Everywhere you can get bonuses, right? 𝗬𝗂𝗍 is some of the best bonuses out there, but more importantly, you can use from anywhere in the world. No KYC necessary, so if you want to, go ahead and check it out right there. But these trades I've got over on Blowfin, and what I'm hoping for is that we get yet another chance. But now I realize, right, from doing this for so many years, day in, day out, one thing I've realized is you can get greedy pretty easily. In this scenario, what I mostly should have just done is lock myself in a room, not go outside for a bit, see the XP price move, maybe even use a terminal. But let's just say I was fine with taking Blowfin because these orders, even $1 million is not that crazy of an order, right? It's not that big a deal. I don't think anybody's going to hunt that, nor are the fees that big a deal, or is the spread of that big a deal. So I'm thinking I should have just sat here, all right, placed my orders, just a little bit of manual work in that sense, and enjoyed it right now because, again, the price is up like 5% from that point, which is still if I were to be able to get it into like at $2 or so, would still be a nice, maybe, if it's just spot. I guess with leverage doesn't really matter, but it's 5% from the position size. So that's a nice little 50K that it would have been up right now. Could still buy another nice little watch off of that, right? Or maybe like a year's worth of rent for some people. In just one tiny move over the past couple of hours, but I was stuck eating dinner. Because again, my time zone right now is a bit messed up. I'm not sure which one exactly I'm in. Let's just pick this one right here. So I was not even eating dinner yet, because that's 5:30. Damn, all right, damn. Or 4:30. I don't know, it depends on what exactly my time zone is. I'm not sure. Having said that, it's been some craziness in the markets though, right? Take a look at the 4 hours. $500 million got wrecked. So if your positions are not doing too good right now, and you're looking at your screen like, you know, scared or something like that, just know you're not the only one. And a lot of people got wrecked right here. But in the grand scheme of things, I personally think that where a lot of people get wrecked, it's your opportunity to scoop up wherever they got wrecked at. So for example, these longs got wrecked. Think about it like this. If they got wrecked at that level, if you're opening your position right there, you've got a very high chance to just at least be better than them. And they were probably pretty good. You might say, oh, but they got liquidated. Yeah, that doesn't mean they don't have a backup plan, so to speak. That doesn't mean that even though they face a few liquidations, they don't make more money off of the wake of it, right? For example, here, 167,000 traders were liquidated. Total liquidation comes in at 650 mil for the day. Largest was an HTX ETH order at 9.15 million. But think about it like this also. This person or this company, whatever that was trading this, they tend to have it within their strategy to just back it up with bigger longs, meaning they don't mind it getting liquidated even though there's a fee for that, but to just open up more as the price goes lower, because it's not always true, but it tends to be in their strategy to let some trades lose so others can win heavily. Could also be hedged, but I don't think so if they let it get liquidated. But it's really interesting to see the volatility is back. On the opposite end, it's not nice, I guess, to see what it's all about. You know, I prefer to see volatility coming back because of the market just going booming and crazy, but this is booming in a different way, right? Then again, what I'll be doing here is just layering my buys in again. Sometimes you gotta risk it for the biscuit. I think it is worth all the freaking risk. Then again, my Payonix bots are still just buying every single time the price goes lower though. And even at this point, I guess I can just sit here and start adding more towards the bots so they can just keep grinding it out. But you tend to not have to do too much except for worry a bit about the liquidation price. But for many of my bots, it's still about 50% down. A few are a bit closer, like the ADA bot, but all I have to do is just grab some more money and put it into margin in case things really start falling. But I think for now, we are pretty good. But so yeah, I'm just stacking up. At the end of the day, every single time you get an opportunity like this, you know, a dip like this, I should say, it's an opportunity. That's the way I see it. Nothing else. Nothing less, nothing more. Don't think about it too emotionally. Don't think about what exactly is happening. Oh, it's for your coins, it doesn't matter, all right? They don't discriminate as to what's going on in the real world. All we know is the prices of these coins, and all I know is over a few month period, they're going up. Right now, you're getting yourself a cheap discount. Due to what? It doesn't really matter for this specific scenario. And all we do is scoop them up. But I would have only, if I could do it differently, just set up my orders slightly better. I can still do that right now as we speak, though, for just in case we have another move down. And again, if I were to be logical about it, I would most likely just have a bigger order around the $2 mark, maybe $2.01, something like that, and then actually layer my buy significantly further, maybe starting 192 and layer it down to like 180, maybe 182, something like that. Why? Just because you do not want to get wrecked on one wick down. If you're doing, for example, 10x leverage, you know, if you don't have any extra money to add as margin or to, you know, if you have a cross position and you don't have any more money in your balance, you don't want to get completely wrecked off of one extra wick down. For example, let's say you open at $2.17, for example, and in this case, there was a massive wick downwards. Let's say this was one day. You would have been down significantly within like a day or something. You would have hated yourself, perhaps. But if you were actually layering your buy significantly lower, for example, you bought in at $2.17, and then you started layering heavily, right, from $2.07 to $2, you would have most likely been completely fine and enjoyed this move back upwards. Maybe not profitable just quite yet, but I think over the next few hours, few days, it will most likely recover, and you're going to be laughing in your freaking boots. And think about it. You're getting yourself a cheaper XRP price right now for just taking XRP than most of the history, right? This is very, very cheap. Every single time thus far, if you were able to buy XRP at these levels, you would have won. Keep that in the back of your head. And that's about it for this little crypto update.